Here we go. How you doing, everyone? We're back for another episode of Wheel of Fortune. We're going to see what sign it is next time. Get our dice ready. Ophiuchus. All right. We also have Mercury, Aquarius, and 11th house. Mercury, Aquarius, and the 11th house. See if I can get these dice on there so y'all can see them. So it could be a lot of online communication with Mercury and Aquarius, or telepathy even. Ophiuchus, too, guys, if you're into sidereal astrology, Ophiuchus, Tanya would know the dates better than I would. Sometime like somewhere in December. I know it cuts into Scorpio. Something like that. Tanya will know. Tanya, if you catch this, let me know. Or any of y'all can let me know. But Ophiuchus is the 13th zodiac. It's the forgotten zodiac sign. And he's the slayer of the serpent, essentially. You know, he's really deep medicine. And people who have placements that fall inside those degrees, they run on a different purpose, a different level of being. They hold a different quote unquote light code. So we're going to read for Ophiuchian energy. And because Ophiuchian energy is really connected to healing, I'll do a heavy guidance section so anybody can take the guidance at the end. All right. So I've got the Field Tarot, and I've got the Wild Unknown Tarot. And I was doing a pre-shuffle on the cards, and I really did like the energy coming through in the pre-shuffle, watching the different cuts of the deck. It felt good. So let's see what insight we need for Ophiuchian energy and those who have stronger significant placements in those degrees. One more shuffle. Okay. What insight do we need from the perspective of Ophiuchus? I was around Ophiuchus, eh? Oh gosh. Astrology humor. What else? Ooh. All right, so we got the 9 of Wands and Judgment so far. What else? King of Pentacles. And the Prince of Wands. Let me get some clarities, please. Resilience is my second favorite word. That's the word on the bottom of the 9 of Wands. If y'all have been following me a while, y'all know my first favorite word. You can put it in the comments. If you've been following me, you know what my favorite word is. Resilience is my second favorite word. Let's see. 3 of Swords in reverse on the 9 of Wands. Huh. How about that? Okay. One more. Give me one more. I had a feeling it was going to end up being 2. All right, so the Ace of Swords came out with an upside down card, so we're just going to leave that there because the truth it'll come in time. All right, bottom of the deck is the Two of Swords. Top is the Ace of Wands, and that was coming out in the pre-shuffle. Okay. So if this message is catching you in divine time, right? Especially if you do have strong or significant Aquarian energy or Mercury in Aquarius or Mercury in Ophiuchus, right? The degrees that Ophiuchus takes. Or if you have Uranus and Ophiuchus, which you might, I'm pretty fucking sure I have Uranus and Ophiuchus in those degrees myself. It's a certain degree inside Sagittarius and like regular tropical astrology and stuff. I feel like you just got some kind of supercharged energy with Mars leaving Cancer. I'm getting something about Mars leaving Cancer. And different things with Jupiter being in Gemini and how that energy was affecting this particular area, right, Ophiuchus. There's a lot of crossroads, right? There's a lot of crossroads, and the desire for victory is high. And sometimes that requires divine pause, that requires deep reflection of contracts and different things that, you know, emotionally might have come up short when, you know, your intuition was guided to it. You know, when you start to reflect really deeply on past contracts that you have with people, right? Romantic contracts, familial contracts, business contracts, like all these different interactions that you have, right? These dynamic ships. You've reached a point where you've decided what you need to take forward and what you can't continue taking forward, whether it's a partner or a mindset, right? It could be a behavior pattern. It could be a way of perceiving things, you know, like people have a pattern of, you know, like working really hard and all this stuff and then burning out. They put in all this effort and all of this energy and then they burn out, and then they take forever to recover from the burnout, and then they got to do it again, right? And they go right back into it now that they've recovered, and they want to prove to themselves that, you know, they're not whatever. They go right back to it. Like certain things need to shift if you want to succeed, right? If you want to succeed. And not just as an individual, but with partnerships. The Nine of Wands with the Three of Swords and the reverse, the resilience and the release of sorrow. Whatever caused you pain prior to the moment you're in right now listening to this, right? Any pain that you've experienced with people, there's a big release. There's a big release that's going on. And the Judgment card with the Seven of Swords, the Seven of Swords came out with 3 other cards. The Seven of Wands, Temperance, and the Nine of Cups. Like, if you were backstabbed, right? We're talking about 3 of Swords. We're talking about pain, where you invested your heart in the safekeeping of somebody and they botched it, you know? Those who have deceived your heart, your good intention, your desire to, whether you realize it or not, like balance scales from past lives, right? Something didn't sit right with you. You've had to defend yourself and your happiness and your emotional fulfillment in this life. You know, you've sacrificed wishes and dreams that you wanted to come true, sacrificed your own fulfillment for people that were not willing to show up for you in the same way. You know, they weren't after the same win at the end of the day. And put you in a position where you had to really defend yourself. And then, you know, King of Discs and Four of Swords energy, you had to sit tight in your manifestation and chill. Mentally recover from the somersaults that you just came out of interacting with whatever situationship it was. You had to stabilize. You might have had to rule the roost for a while, so to speak, you know, and really step up in financial ways, being the executive of your life. Now we've got this Prince of Wands with the Ace of Swords and the Magician. Mercury. We have so many swords out here. Really, swords, 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 swords all in a row. It's a lot of air. The truth, right? The Magician with the Ace of Swords, that's the truth will set you free. That's like waving the truth like a magic wand, you know, like allowing the truth to just poof, like abracadabra, and it manifests. You know, the truth in the kind of person you want to be and the kind of person you see yourself becoming, like what really inspires you to continue moving forward. I think whatever the old patterns or the old dynamics were, if they're stagnating and they're heavy and they're stalling, you know, it's like, well, forward is calling me. You know, forward is calling me, and that's definitely the vibe here. Let's get some further insight real quick before we get into guidance. Hey, Mystic Road, how you doing? Let's see. What else do we need to know about this, please, Spirit? Four of Swords is out twice. Hanged Man, Piscean energy. And the Hermit, Virgo energy. That's feels like the nodes. That was the immediate feeling I got. Got the Four of Wands. 44 may be significant. The Fool, Arian energy, and Uranus energy. Give me one more. I'm really getting this as like a recognition in the High Priestess. Major Arcana. Double fours and then 4 major arcana. Bottom of the deck is the Six of Swords. Top of the deck is the 10 of Swords. Yeah, moving forward from very real betrayal. Like betrayal that is still very much remembered. You know, it is not forgotten, regardless of how long ago it was, whether it was last week or 10 years ago. Like if there was a solid betrayal, you did not forget with time. You remember it like it was yesterday. And however long you've been carrying it, you're finally dropping it and letting it go. You know, this break, this time of rest that you took to just mentally reset. Like, you see better now than you ever thought you saw what you really want to enjoy in life and what kind of people you want to be around in order to live that out, you know, and so that those people could do the same, so that you could be a part of that reality as well. Like you want to you're looking at what you want, and I think you're accepting the reality of what you want and what it means, you know, to accept what you want. Because if this is what you want, then you have to say no to certain things that it's not what you want. You know, it doesn't make, you know, every business deal bad. It doesn't make people bad that you say no to. It just means you know what you want. Like if you have visions of, you know, homesteading or some shit, you're not going to try and, you know, meet a partner that lives and works in the city and grew up in the city and plans to retire in the city. Like you want to homestead. So you're going to look for somebody who has this similar dreams, right? You would have to say no to certain things. Like you have to accept that you've gotten specific with what you want, and accepting that no is going to be more common. It's going to be really common, right? It's going to be no until it's finally yes. So there's this finally coming out of this, what I like to kind of think of as like the sonar stage, where you're inside your dark depths of self and you're literally feeling around in the dark and you don't really know what you're going to find or when you're going to find it. You know, things down there just kind of pop up on you, and you kind of have to follow it through the dark a while to get a feel for what it is. I think you've taken a leap on trusting your healing. I think you've taken a leap on trusting your healing. Knowing that you've been in this kind of hermit mode for a while, getting deep with yourself, and have gone through some kind of major milestone healing, or are about to. I think you're learning how to really trust your healing. I think you're learning how to trust your intuition and what feels right, you know, and not forcing something that's not quite there. And I think that's a good thing. So let's see what we've got. I've got my Crystal Mandala Oracle, and I got our good old friend Rumi. And Rumi. I think I might pull a Divine Conversation card as well. I might do that first. Let's get these Jones out here. Let's see what the Divine Conversation is. These are like a little deck that I made with little channeled messages on it. What conversation does Divine want to have with you at this time? Don't you know how proud of you I am? Can you please go easier on yourself? You're doing great, empath. You're doing great. Don't be so hard on yourself. I had this conversation with myself today. We're all doing the best we can, dude. We're all doing the best we can to figure it out, what works, what doesn't work. Figuring out how to work together, you know? What guidance, please? Between Rumi and OPHIUCHUS. What guidance? What card above all others? A new gown. Card number 18. And one more. I'm going to get them both out. And we're going to read. Ooh, that came right out. Rare Success. That's a great card. Okay. Cards number 18 and 53. A new gown. Ah, beloved. If you could only see the incredible gift, the symbolic robe being offered to you now, your fears would quake and tremble, disappearing more quickly than you can imagine. Your heart would take wings and become so light your entire being would lift clean off the ground and soar like an angel bird amongst the playground of the Divine Mother's skies. You may be craning your neck to see who it is that can bestow permission upon you to receive a gift of such dignity, in whom such authority vested, that you may no longer be as the beggar asking for scraps and contenting yourself with stale crumbs. You may simply decide to shed that, stand up, to walk with your head held high and with regal grace, and assume your place at the table of the divine. Remember that your royal birth certificate is stamped in your heart. There is no authority required, no permission to be granted. You are what you are already and always have been thus. All that is required from you is to realize it. The oracle comes to you with a sacred portent. You are fast approaching a moment of a great leap, of evolutionary shift on your spiritual path. Your sense of yourself and your divine identity is about to be revealed and realized in a way more potent than ever before. You must allow it. Do not confuse humility with humiliation, and do not humble yourself excessively. You do not have to battle with false pride either. Simply honor yourself as a living being worthy of life, worthy of this royal path of divine realization. What a gift it is to cast aside belief in inferiority or superiority, unhelpful as those notions are for you now. Do not doubt the changes happening within you. Embrace them. Really, this is about dignity. This is about not judging yourself for what changes are coming, right? Change is happening. You're stepping into an empowerment, right? To honor yourself. This isn't about playing games and being dragged into things. Like, this is about understanding, like, if you don't want to deal with certain bullshit, like, the answer is, I don't want to deal with this bullshit. It's bullshit. The energy is bullshit. You can love somebody and they could be in bullshit energy and you could say, I love you, but it's bullshit. And I'm not dealing with it, you know? Allow yourself to, at the very least, expose your full vulnerable truth to yourself. You know, be able to acknowledge your own truth and just simply act accordingly. You don't necessarily need to explain yourself to everybody. You might offer to explain things to some, but you don't have to explain yourself for choosing what is best for you. You know, this is a new gown. This is an energy where people haven't necessarily seen you in this energy before. You might not have seen your energy like this before. You know, it'd be like someone who's grown up in a black and white world all of a sudden standing out in Technicolor. You know, it's very new. And other people might not know how to embrace it. Other people might be so fucking excited for you and the changes that you've made. They might thrive in these dynamics with you. you know, being on the page you're on now. This is definitely about embracing new. Like, you know where you've come from. You know, you've been through the dark night. You've processed through the dark night and are coming out of it. This is your dawn. You've been in the dark for a while. You've probably been secluded for a while. You know, you've probably been on your own, surviving solo, you know, for a while. You know, being in isolation, like I was listening to something earlier and it's so true. Like when we're isolated from friends, when we're isolated from family, when we're isolated from romantic partners and being blocked by the universe, like on all fronts, being blocked on jobs, like you're isolating, you're processing through things that you need time like that to process through. You have to be isolated. Sometimes it takes a while, but you do get through it. And out of isolation, you emerge, you know? And I think that's very much the stage in which you're at. I mean, we're doubling down on this with rare success. It's goddess 𝐬𝐸𝐴𝐸 and 𝗏𝗏𝗏 is the crystal. Let me get this card up. Am I in the wrong book? Yes, I am. I was like, why is it not going up to 53? Y'all could have told me. Hey, Lala, how you doing? Like, Grace, you're looking at the wrong book. It's all right. I figured it out on camera live. Thanks. Oh, I love y'all so much. All right, so that's the crystal mandala card. It's so pretty. And it says, we bring you the empowerment of rare success. You are bringing something utterly unique, special, and precious to the world. Whilst there are creations that are worthwhile and valuable which can manifest swiftly, there are others that are labors of love requiring diligence, strength, and long-term commitment to bring them to life in the world. These exquisite creations are the divine manifestations of rare success, that which shall stand the test of time and offer a legacy of comfort, encouragement, and divine grace for generations to come. There are everyday acts of creation, and then there are rare acts of creation. Each plays an important part in sustaining of life on this planet. An example of an everyday act of creation might be cooking of meals. There is an art and a process, and it delivers a result in a relatively short turnaround of time. It is very important to the sustaining of human life. Then there are sacred and rare creations that serve life in very special ways. Grandmother goddess 𝗬𝗏𝗏 nurtures a garden of divine peach trees, which bloom once every 3,000 years. The sacred orchard of 𝗬𝗏𝗏 is a beautiful mystery and one that gives us a perspective on timing. You could say that for the soul, immortality is a rare success. Cultivated over 3,000 years, it is a rare spiritual prize worth attaining. It cannot be hurried, however. Like the sacred grandmother and caretaker of the Garden of Immortality knows, some things are worth the wait. There is a capacity in you to bring through a rare success. To put it in more everyday terms, you are in this lifetime, and your soul mission for the long term and your creative potential this lifetime is far greater than you currently realize. Even if you have ambitious spiritual visions for your life or a bold dream you want to accomplish, there's more you are going to birth through your life on this planet than what you understand right now. This will be a beautiful discovery to look forward to, and also a reminder that there are bigger plans afoot, and sometimes your need for immediate results has to be sacrificed to the timing needed for the greater success of the purpose. 𝐬𝐻𝑚𝐵 comes to you with a reassuring message of patience, application, and commitment. You are growing. You may compare yourself to others and wonder why you aren't striding ahead in leaps and bounds as they seem to be, but it takes far less time to assemble a house of cards than it does a palace. The grander the contribution you are going to make this lifetime, the greater the care, time, and attention to the foundations. If you are feeling patient, though at times perhaps a little restless, and continue with all that needs to be done, then you understand this. You are feeling insecure or worried that you're not making progress because you feel like you are still laying ground stones while others have already begun painting the roof tiles. You need to relax and trust and understand that any sense of being quote unquote held back or needing to go through more lessons is not a sign of weakness or inadequacy. To the contrary, it is a sign of spiritual empowerment and preparation for the full substance of your spiritual gift to manifest in the world, which shall be a rich and rare offering, capable of bringing great spiritual support to ready souls. If you are struggling with patience, with wondering when you will have your lucky break or breakthrough, with why things seem to be going so slower and your efforts are ever going, or if they're ever going to bear fruit, then the oracle of rare success comes to you with guidance. Things are happening. They are happening according to divine timing, and the wait will be worth it. The wait will be worth it. Let your heart be soft. Let your heart be soft. You know, this is talking about going easier on yourself, reminding you that you're doing a great job. And just because other people are already living out, you know, the manifestation of their dreams and you haven't made it even quote unquote close yet, doesn't mean you're failing. It means you signed up for more. And what you build off that more is going to substantially feel and result in more. You're doing a great job. You've learned a lot. And you're putting what you learned to use. Like if you've been building a palace for the last 50 fucking years, well shit, you're probably dang close to done. And I know it don't feel it, but you're probably a lot closer than you think. Heck, maybe the home stretch, it was always meant for you to manifest helping hands to build it. And it being done is closer than you think. What would have took you 10 more years by yourself might take you 1 with the right people. Right? And that's called being in alignment and enjoying the shit out of your energy, right? Trusting your healing. Trusting in this new version of yourself. You are not your past self. Your past self helped shape who you are now, but it's not who you are. It's just who you used to be to help you get where you are now. Trust the process. You've got this far. Life has surprised you a whole lot, and that's fine. You've grown a lot from all of it. You've grown a lot from all of it. Definitely pay attention to the signs and synchronicities. They're there. Angel numbers, feathers, different signs and symbols, like they're all over the place. Say what's up to Archangel Metatron. Like, yo, hit me up with them synchronicities. Like, don't be slacking on me over here. You know what I mean? For real. You don't have to defend yourself anymore. Really, this thing just stuck to my elbow and it was upright and it came back up reverse. You don't have to live the rest of your life struggling to be strong. It's a lot to carry it all by yourself, no matter what the fuck it is. One person trying to lift a car is crazy. Could 20 people lift a car, though? It's not so hard. I think you're aligning with the right people. I think you're aligning with the right energy. I think you being specific is going to pay off, and I think you're going to fucking love it. I think you're going to love it. If you caught this message, you're going to love it. Whatever is coming your way is absolutely fucking just and worth the wait. You're going to be really fucking glad that you put in the work you did on yourself in this life. Like, thank God. You know? Yeah, like a boss. Absolutely, Lala. Absolutely. That's a great message. That's a great message. And you know what? In real time, like, it's Mother's Day, which means in divine time, like, recognize yourself, especially if you are a mother. Or if you just live inside that maternal energy, period, with everybody that you cross in life, and you just love people and nurture people and want to take care of people, and people don't always pay you back in kind. It takes a lot to embody mom, you know. This is a whole new way to nurture yourself. It's a whole new way to nurture yourself. Today's also my grandmother's birthday. It's her birthday today. She passed away 2019, pre-COVID, right before COVID. But it was her birthday today. So I don't doubt that she's standing right behind us with this message, especially talking about grandmother goddess. Right? Grandmother of all the different cards that could have flown out. I think that might be the only one that has grandmother written on it. So if your grandmom is up in heaven, you got your mom up in heaven, you got someone like a mom up in heaven, they're with you moving forward. You best believe that. What a Mother's Day message. Really. I love you guys. And I do hope you enjoy the message in divine time, because you're on the right path. You're on the right track. Hang tight, because it's about to get real good. It's about to get real good. All right? I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.